Hello, welcome to ChamberLIVE. Today our Health and Safety Forum is brought to you by the East Lancs Chamber of Commerce and sponsored by Nelson Colne College Group. The views expressed in this webinar don't necessarily represent the views of the East Lancs Chamber of Commerce, but all facts are believed to be correct at the time of recording, which is the 21st of April 2021. Today's event is a practical and interactive demonstration of techniques and methods that you can use to maintain well-being in the workplace for yourself, but also for your teams. It's very much a taster of the wealth of funded courses that are delivered by Lancashire Adult Learning that are available free of charge to you and your employees that live or work in Lancashire. So make yourself comfortable in a chair with some space around you, relax and immerse yourself and push yourself through your comfort zone a little bit if you can. To take us through the demonstrations, please welcome the Executive Head of Curriculum, Innovation and Partnerships from Lancashire Adult Learning, Nicola Hall. Over to you, Nick.
Thanks very much, Simon. If we could have the presentation and the first slide, please, that would be brilliant. So today's event really is themed about taking control and maintaining well-being in the workplace. And what we're aiming to do is give you some really good ideas of tips and tricks that you can do and your employees can do to stay well in the workplace, whether they're actually in the workplace or they're working from home. So if we could have the next slide, please, Sarah. Okay, so the presenters today are myself, Nicola, and as Simon mentioned, I'm responsible for curriculum innovation. That just basically means making sure that the curriculum is fit for purpose and needs across Lancashire and developing partnerships because we need partners to be able to deliver Lancashire Adult Learning's provision. We've also got Sarah Howarth, who is the Head of Curriculum for Health and Wellbeing with Horticulture, and Sarah leads the team that delivers wellbeing in the workplace, and you'll be hearing more from Sarah as the session progresses. And we've also got our most important member, Danielle Thorpe, who's our Partnership and Recruitment Officer, specifically for health and wellbeing and horticulture, and she will be your go-to person. So if after today's session you think, actually I enjoyed that, or I think my colleagues might want a little bit of that in the workplace, Danielle Thorpe will be your person and will share her email address later on through the session. Next slide please, Sarah. Okay, so a quick run through the order of events today. I'm going to give you a little bit more information about the Nelson Colne College Group and Lancashire Adult Learning, even though Simon has done a brilliant introduction. We're just going to touch on a little bit of data that's been provided by the Skills Board and the LEP about Lancashire's health and productivity, and show you where you can get more information about that if indeed you haven't already accessed it. It's also going to be quite interactive, as Simon mentioned, so we would really like you to participate because we've got some of our fabulous teachers delivering sessions based around exercise for health, creative wellbeing and 5 ways to wellbeing. And all of these activities are designed so you can do it in the workplace and it should only take a very short period of time. Sarah's going to give you an overview of our health and wellbeing provision, and as Simon mentioned, we're going to be around a little bit at the end if you've got any specific questions or any feedback, or you've got anything you want to ask us. And again, we'll be reminding you who the key contacts are should you want to have our provision in your workplace. Next slide please, Sarah. Okay, a little bit of Zoom housekeeping. Simon's already touched on these points already, but just to remind everybody, microphones, please would you keep them muted for the session, just to minimise feedback, because we've got around 37 people on the call and it makes it quite difficult for people to hear if people do have the mics not on mute. We'd also really like you just to keep your cameras on initially. I know people tend not to in virtual meetings, but actually just so we can see who's on the call and we can connect with you, make eye contact. You're welcome to turn your cameras off during the sessions that the teachers are leading, but we would like to see who's joining us today. Please do type any queries or questions in the chat facility. Danielle, who I've already mentioned, will be looking at the chat. She will be able to answer some questions and queries as the session progresses. And also, if you've got a question, if you just put a Q at the front of it, she'll know straight away if that's a question and she can spotlight in on that. And as Simon mentioned before, there is time allowed at the end for feedback, questions and answers, and we will be supplying you with an email address so you can email in anything that you want to ask or any suggestions or any more questions. Next slide please, Sarah. Okay, so just before we go to a poll, we're going to have a poll in a minute, which Simon's going to introduce. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Nelson Colne College group and structure. So you can see at the top, it's the Nelson Colne College. Our Principal and Chief Executive is Amanda Melton. And we're quite a large family at the Nelson Colne College Group. You can see we've got Lancashire Adult Learning to the right-hand side, who myself, Sarah and Danielle work for. And we're really the adult arm of the group, and we deliver all over Lancashire to around 14,000 learners. Also part of the group, you've got Nelson Colne College, which some of you might already be familiar with, and Accrington and Rossendale College. And they're really, I guess, more the awareness around those is for 16 to 18-year-old learners. Nelson Colne College being very much academically focused with A-level provision, and Accrington and Rossendale being much more focused on vocational provision. And we also have a quite large HE provision and an apprenticeship provision as well. And then just at the bottom of the structure, you'll see we've got the Pendle Educational Trust, which also sits with us, and that's made up of a group of schools, primary schools and secondary schools, who we support and sponsor. Okay, Simon, if you could drop the first poll, please. So we've just got a few short questions there for you. We'd like you to answer, as many people to answer as possible, because we're going to be able to use this information. So around a minute or so, Simon, for people to get busy and answer that poll before we look at the results. So just 3 short questions there.
There we go, there's your results.
All right, okie dokie. So 75% of the people who are on the call today have heard of Lancashire Adult Learning. That's really encouraging, but it also means that we've still got 25% joining us who haven't heard about Lancashire Adult Learning. 39% have attended a course before and 61% haven't. So we're hoping to be able to improve those figures as time goes on, once you've had a taste of Lancashire Adult Learning. And this is absolutely fantastic. We've definitely got the right people, or we're presented to the right people. 100% of you have never worked in partnership with Lancashire Adult Learning. And I'm really hoping by the end of today's session, 100% of you will want to work in partnership with Lancashire Adult Learning. So thank you very much for that, Simon. Next slide, please. Super. Okay, so a little bit of more background really about Lancashire Adult Learning. We're the second largest adult community learning provider in the country. We have a grant of around £5.7 million to deliver to the people of Lancashire in all different areas. And you can see there from the image that we put up, we've got various curriculum areas. I'm not going to go into detail about those, because today we're here to talk about health and wellbeing and how we can support wellbeing in the workplace. We design courses to meet people's needs, or to meet organisations' needs. They are all free to residents of Lancashire, so that, you know, that's a big tick for most people. There's no charge for them, and we can design them to meet the needs of your organisation. If you've identified a particular need around wellbeing, we can support you with that. And most importantly, our teachers are experts in the field, so they're highly qualified and they're passionate about making a difference to people's lives in terms of supporting people to manage their own wellbeing and achieve their own goals. You can see on there we've also got our own website. You know, anybody wants to make a quick note of that, although you will get the recording of this session, please do visit it and have a look, because there's a lot of different facets to Lancashire Adult Learning that you might find useful. Next slide, please, Sarah. Okay, so I'm just going to touch on here a little bit of data that's been published by the LEP and the Skills Board, who we work really closely with, about health and productivity in Lancashire. You can see we've included the website address. I don't know if you used it very often, or you know, you visit it very often, but it is worthwhile having a look at the data that they do hold there, because it is useful for all different reasons and for all different purposes. And you can see the date on there says November 2019. That's not a mistake. That's the date that this actual data was collected and published on there. And really the next big tranche of data will come from the census that's been carried out throughout the country. And I'm not sure when that will be published, but the Skills Board and the LEP do publish the latest updates, so it's worth keep revisiting the website if you don't do so already. So the next slide, please, Sarah. Okay, so the NHSA Wealth Report argues that tackling the North's health issues could generate an additional £13.2 billion a year. And I don't need to tell you, I'm not wanting you to teach people to suck eggs here. That's a considerable amount of revenue. Workers with ill health in the north are 39% more likely to lose their job than similar individuals in the rest of England, which is a quite worrying statistic actually. And if we move on to the next slide, we can just have a look at the total number of adults classed as economically inactive in the Lancashire area, or our LEP area, is just over 196,000. Now, you can see at the bottom there, we've got a definition of what economic inactivity means, and I'm sure you know what that means. But in terms of what we're focusing on in Lancashire, a quarter of this is because of long-term illness. So that's just short of 49,000 people. That's a significant proportion of people who could be contributing to our workforce. Next slide, please, Sarah. And in the case that no one at all in Lancashire is out of work due to long-term illness, there's a potential increase in over £2 billion that could be added to Lancashire's economy, which is why it's so important and why we want to focus on helping organisations support well-being in the workplace and helping people thrive in the workplace and reducing sickness absence. And you can see there, we've got that strapline from the Skills Board and the LEP website. Improving the health of the population could help close the productivity gap between Lancashire and nationally. Next slide, please, Sarah. Okay, so I'm just going to let those statistics percolate for you. Do visit the Skills Board and the LEP site, because they've got far more in-depth data that you might find interesting, and I'm sure you all collect data for your organisations as to reasons why sickness absence occurs and do your own analysis on that, but it's worth comparing it to what's happening nationally and at a Lancashire level. I'm now going to hand you over to Sarah Howarth, who's our Head of Curriculum for Health and Wellbeing and Horticulture, and she's going to guide you through the next part of the session. Over to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Nicola. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you today. It's a pleasure to meet you all. As previously mentioned, I'm the Head of Curriculum for Health and Wellbeing and Horticulture here at Lancashire Adult Learning, and we're thrilled to be able to offer you these short mini-bite sessions of what is part of our broader curriculum around health and wellbeing. So with no further ado, the next section is going to be for you to experience some sections of our curriculum. And the first session is linked around exercise for health. So I'd like to introduce Faye Woodall, who's one of my teachers that leads on this strand of the curriculum, who will tell you a little bit about the courses that we offer, and he's going to do a short exercise session with some follow-up information. So over to you, Faye, for this first section.
Thank you, Sarah. As Sarah mentioned, I'm Faye, and I do a lot of the exercise and nutrition provision for Lancashire Adult Learning. We can really vary what we deliver to meet the individual needs of those that are coming to us. So we have chair-based yoga, chair-based exercise, standing exercises, which we can make low or medium impact, or yoga for stress and anxiety. So we can deliver a variant of courses depending on the need of those that come in and depending on the ability of those that come to us as well. We're going to have a really quick example of some of the exercises we do. Now, I'm aware people are at work, they're in office spaces, so we're not about to do a high intensity or insanity workout, don't worry. You'll see there's a chair behind me, so I promise it's all user friendly today. What I'd like you to do is just join in the best that you can with the space that you've got around you. Okay, we're going to just mainly focus on about 6 minutes today, and we're going to do some mobility exercises to try and work out any tension we might be gathering in our body. So when we're sat at our computer typing away all day, and we might be hunched over a desk, typing away with our fingers, our wrists getting cramped. So we're just going to do some gentle exercises to try and get movement back through our joints and stretch the muscles out a bit, just to try and help our bodies when we've been sedentary for a while. So can I have the next slide, please, Sarah? Thank you. So this is why we gave the call to get some water handy, although it's not too vigorous, so please don't worry. Just do what you can at your own pace and join in the best that you're able to. There'll be some music playing. If the connection dips and the music dips a little bit, please don't worry and feel free to sing along in your head as much or out loud if you want to. Okay, so I will press play and I will go and get in position on my chair. We're going to start seated and then we're going to move into just some gentle standing stretches as well to finish off. So if everyone would like to get into position, try and get some space around them, best that you can. And I'll get into position and I'll press play on the music. Okay.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
So you just make sure you're in a nice space around you. Move your arms around, your legs around. Lovely, brilliant. And we're going to start with a nice gentle march. And this just gets everything warm and everything moving. Brilliant. I can see a few joining in already. Brilliant. I'm sure we're all feeling happy today, this Wednesday morning. Lovely. Just getting everything moving. Just getting the blood pumping around the body. Getting the oxygen to the muscles.
That's what you want to do. Here come that news.
And put the hands back, rotate the wrists. So we've been typing a lot or on our phones a lot, just helping to work out the joints. Lubricate the joints, that's it. And back in. Lovely. And put your fists into balls, that's it. Ball up your fists and open wide. Close, open. This is a good one for arthritis as well. Just helps lubricate the finger joint. Lovely, and just bringing them up and down, side to side. Lovely. Shaking them out and in. Brilliant. So we'll do the neck, and we're going to look up and bring the chin up towards the ceiling. And we're going to look down, bringing the chin towards the chest. We're going to look to our right shoulder, over our right shoulder, and over our left shoulder. We're going to rotate round in a circle from the right, and from the left. Lovely. Nudge your head yes. Shake your head no. Brilliant. Put your left hand on your right shoulder and just lean away. Just much as you can, don't strain. Other side, just leaning away from the hand. Brilliant. And shrug the shoulders up and down. And up and forward. This works out any tension you might be carrying in your shoulders and back. And now this is where I feel some cracking. Go up and back. I always crack at this one. Go up and back. Work out any tension. Lovely. Lift up the right leg. And pull the foot clockwise. And then clockwise. Lovely, left leg clockwise. And anti-clockwise. And just kick out the legs, just moving from the knee joint. Brilliant. And shuffle yourself forward so you can chair. We're going to come to standing now. Link the hands together, and on the count of 3, we're going to lift and come up. 1, 2, 3, push up. Lovely. Put your hands either side of your shoulders and just rotate right to left. Just working from the spine. Lovely. Getting some movement going through. Brilliant.
Then I saw her face.
Lovely. Reach up high to the ceiling. And reach down towards your toes. Reach up to the ceiling. And down to your toes. Lovely. Bending at the hips and the knees. We're just going to bring the arms up. And let go of any tension. Bring up. And let go of any tension. One more time. Bring it up. And let go. Lovely. Hands either side. Moving from the hips.
Oh, then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not afraid.
Lovely.
Out in my mind.
Okay, brilliant. We're going to come back down to the chair.
I'm a believer.
Bring the right leg over the side and just stretch the left leg away. Stretch out those hips and bring the arms up and have a good reach. Lovely. Other side. Left leg over the chair. Just bring that right leg as far away as you can. And bring the arms up and stretch. Stretch through the hips all the way to the upper body.
Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer.
Brilliant. Lovely. Coming back to centre. Hands on the thighs. Reach down towards the ankles.
I'm a believer.
Stretch the fingers out in front of the toes. Take the fingers as far from the toes as you can. Keep walking the fingers. Stretch out that back. And slide the hands back up the shins, up the thighs. And breathe in, lift the arms up. Breathe out, lower down, and shake off. Shake everything off. Brilliant, well done. Well done. So like I said, those exercises were just designed to just get some mobility through our joints and try and stretch out some different areas. Again, I know sometimes we might be self-conscious how we look, but it's good to just get some movement, especially when we're sedentary for quite a lot of the day. So we'll just go back to the PowerPoint. Thank you, Sarah. And on to the next slide. Brilliant. So Simon has a poll for this one, and we're just interested on how often people do exercise. So if you don't mind bringing up the poll for me, please, Simon. Brilliant. So if you can all just answer honestly for us. How often would you say you exercise on average? I agree, Lindsay, it should. We've tried to bring it into our office a bit more. Some people like it more than others, but it's good to just move, isn't it, sometimes? Thank you. I need to see what Colin said. Everyone's saying Colin. Okay. You're dominating, Helen. Have we got the results, Simon?
I'll publish that now.
Brilliant.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, so those are good. So we've got 28% said they exercise daily. Brilliant. 2 to 3 times a week is 56% and 16% rarely. So that shows there that no one's never. So at least people are doing some movement at some parts of the week, which is good. So if we just bring up the next bit, please, Sarah. So the NHS actually recommends we should do at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise every week. So moderate exercise is something that's such as power walking, cycling, swimming, something that's more sustained. Vigorous exercise would be where you're sprinting, for example. Moderate would be where you're jogging. So moderate exercise, 150 minutes. People might do 5 lots of 30 minutes, so over 5 days a week. You can break it up various ways, but the recommendation is 150 minutes spread over your week. So it does show people really we need to be moving most days in some capacity, really. And when we spoke to different people in Lancashire, the main reasons they said for why they may not exercise was lack of time, affordability, having access to what they needed, motivation and confidence. So we do provide and we do work with people within mental health workshops to try and work on both motivation and confidence. But with the top 3, the lack of time, affordability and access, the courses we offer at Lancashire Adult Learning for exercise are all things that can be done within your home. So you don't need any kind of special equipment. It just uses ourselves, possibly some of your own body weight for resistance and just free movement. So anyone, as long as at the moment they can join in online, can come along and join in. They don't need anything, they don't need to pay, they don't need any kind of special equipment. We can cater to individual needs, individual levels. So we really do try to work with these barriers to try and make our classes as accessible to people as we can. And we do them at various times of the day as well to help with that time aspect as well. Thank you, Sarah. Next one. So obviously you won't have felt maybe loads of benefits in our short 6 minutes, but normally when you do exercise, what benefits do you feel? So if you can just pop some answers in the chat for me, that would be brilliant. Thank you. So what benefits do you feel when you do exercise? Thank you, Simon. De-stressing, definitely. Feel happy, a sense of achievement. Thank you, Danielle. That's lovely. Helps the motivation. Makes me feel good, feel good. Brilliant. Brilliant. So these are all mental benefits as well that we've mentioned so far. Switch off from other things definitely improves your mood. Get back into my jeans after lockdown. Exactly. We've got summer coming now, haven't we? Improves aches and pains, improves sleep. Feel good and healthier, definitely. Brilliant. And we've got quite a range of physical and mental benefits there. And that's something we do say when we're running workshops on stress and anxiety, that exercise really does help with the mental health benefits from the release of endorphins, building up serotonin, but also it helps to deplete adrenaline and cortisol caused by stress. So exercise does help how we feel mentally as well as physically. Helps ongoing medical conditions, definitely, Helen. We've had people come along with arthritis that are able to move more from doing some of our mobility exercises. Brilliant, Hannah. Social aspect, brilliant. That's something we're really keen on at LAM. We really want to try and help people connect with one another, even if that's online at the moment. We do really like people to engage with one another, and some go on to form their own groups after we've finished our course and carry on exercising with each other once a week. So they continue to have that social interaction with each other, which is brilliant as well. So we'll just bring up some of our own benefits here, which is all just along what you were saying as well. So exercise helps release tension, especially during these stressful times. It releases endorphins and serotonin, which are feel-good chemicals. It helps keep us healthy, so with our physical health, reduces our risk of obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, more so. Helps keep us motivated and energized. So some of the biggest barriers people being motivated to exercise in the first place, but once they are, they feel better afterwards for doing so. And it can help improve our sleep as well, which is something quite a lot of people have struggled with recently. So just by coming along and taking that first step, when people then do get engaged in the sessions, we find that the benefits they experience are, very vast, and we do have a lot of enjoyment, and people carry on then to exercise afterwards. So they are great courses and we do enjoy doing them. Yes, definitely, Lindsay, especially when you're working from home, you feel isolated, and when you're just doing a YouTube video, you don't have the same interaction, do you, as you do with others even on screen. Yeah, exactly, Nicola. We can design and cater to individual needs. So these are just, so as we said before, we will send this PowerPoint out afterwards. So just to get people, if you enjoyed that taster today and you want to keep the motivation going, these are just some different workouts we would recommend from the NHS. We've got the 10-minute exercises if people are short of time, the couch to 5K, there's Joe Wicks, there's all sorts of variations to suit different levels within those websites there. So do have a look and recommend them to anyone who might be interested, as well as looking at the courses, of course, we offer on our website as well. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. Can feel a bit awkward, so thank you for giving it a go. Thank you.
Super, thank you so much, Faye. Well done.
Thank you.
That was really great. It was fabulous to see so many people joining in. Like Debbie commented in the chat, I was the same. I didn't realise just how much stress and tension I sort of was holding in my neck and my shoulders. There were a lot of cracking going on. Lots more people spending an awful lot more time sat down than we were pre-lockdown. I know as a college we would normally be travelling all over Lancashire. There's an awful lot of movement involved in that, and we're just not doing that the same anymore. Hours working from a desk via online meetings in this case. So let's have a look at getting some exercise for health in there. Lots of good chat going on, I can see there. So next coming up, we've got something a little bit different. We have a fabulous creative wellbeing offer here at Lancashire Adult Learning. So that's lots of different arts and crafts-based activities where the intention is about improving your wellbeing as well as kind of learning a new skill. So I'm really pleased to introduce Helen Draper now, who leads on that strand of the curriculum. So I'll let her take you through the next few slides. Thank you, Helen.
Thanks, Sarah. Morning, everybody. Thanks, Faye. I think I really needed that. I'm feeling better already. So hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. As Sarah said, I'm the Creative Wellbeing Tutor. So creative wellbeing is exactly what Sarah described. It's about developing strategies, developing a personal toolkit to benefit your well-being. So it's about trying new activities that are art-based, craft-based, quite practical, but learning about the connections to well-being that they have, and kind of identifying things that you could bring into your daily routines to help you, whether it's that you want to switch off, de-stress, reduce anxiety, just switch your thought process, stop a negative thought pattern, giving you really short, accessible techniques to try that you can do daily or just in moments of kind of stress and high anxiety. These are all courses that are planned with being mindful that not everybody has lots of art materials. They don't have, you know, lots of space to work, lots of equipment. So these are all sessions planned so that they're accessible. Whether you've just got a pen and paper, that's absolutely fine. It's all about giving things a try and enjoying the experience rather than being good or bad. And you don't need any experience at all. It's just about joining in, having a go, and hopefully experiencing the benefits of how being creative can really benefit your mood and your well-being. So we're going to do a short taster, exactly like you've done with Faye, just to give you a little snapshot of the type of activity that you might try on a creative wellbeing course. So that's what we're going to have a go at today. So this is where you need your pen and paper. So I'm going to talk you through the activity and just encourage you to have a little go. It'd be lovely to see what everybody produces at the end, but there's absolutely no pressure either. It's just about enjoying the experience, not worrying about any judgment from others. It's just about enjoying it and having a go. So if we can move to the next slide. Thank you, Sarah. So this is our starting points. This is a gratitude-based activity. So just want any thoughts initially, if you can pop in the chat to you, what is gratitude? So when I'm talking about gratitude, what do I mean by that? So any thoughts at all, even just a one-word answer, if you can pop them in the chat just to get the cogs turning and get some thoughts going of what we mean by gratitude. That's going to be our focus. Great, lots of answers coming in. So thankfulness, what we appreciate, getting a nice comment from somebody, recognizing the small things in life. I like that one. Yeah, appreciation, definitely. Kindness, appreciating what you have. Yeah, definitely. Focusing on what's gone well. Yeah, I like that, Simon. Focusing on what's gone well rather than obsessing what's gone wrong. Appreciation, recognition, valuing what you have. Yeah, brilliant. And yeah, just bouncing off what Simon said there. It is kind of sometimes very difficult to focus on the good. We can often dwell on the things that haven't gone so well and worry and ruminate on those things. And you could have 10 things go well in a week, but the one thing that didn't go so well, or the one negative, is what you will kind of ruminate over. You might not do that, but a lot of us do, because it's hard to sometimes move on from the negative, and you can completely glaze over all the positives, just the small wins, the small things that have gone well, and they can be kind of covered up by the negatives, and you can focus on that instead. So this process that we're going to do today is exactly about that, really trying to bring to the forefront of your mind things that we are grateful for. And as everybody's explained their understanding, it's about, you know, the appreciation. We've got the words there in the definition. That's perfectly timed, Sarah, thank you. So lots of the words there that we've had in the chat, I think we had almost all of these. So it's giving credit to things, recognising things, appreciation, and just really taking notice, which is one of the elements of the 5 ways to wellbeing, which we do look at on our courses for wellbeing. So it's all about that, taking notice, taking stock, and really bringing to the forefront of your mind the things that you're grateful for, which sometimes we can miss, and we can just rush through life, and we can kind of forget about them. So this activity is just going to be about bringing that to the forefront of your mind. So I've got some quotes here about gratitude and kind of the benefits of gratitude, and I like this one, and again that links to some of the comments. Gratitude turns what we have into enough. and that is about kind of the, you know, the small things being enough and finding the positives. So just some uplifting quotes there, just getting you to really focus on what we've got to be grateful for. So this short practical activity, it's like Sarah's reading my mind with these slides. This short practical activity is just something that gets your mind busy, your hands drawing something, which if you're not naturally creative, it's not part of your working day. This is such a simple activity, and it's just about drawing around your hand. So there's no stress if you feel, oh, I can't draw. It's literally as simple as drawing around your hand. And it just gets, it increases your focus by practically doing something with your hands, because I could just say, think about it, but I want you to physically produce something so that you've got a written visual reminder of this. So we're going to spend 5 minutes just literally drawing around your hand. I've got an example. I've got a little blue Peter. Here's what I've made earlier, which I will hold up in a second. So you're just going to draw it around your hand. Doesn't matter whether you've got a biro, pencil, just whatever you've got. Doesn't matter if you've got lined paper, anything at all will do. Draw around your hand. And within that hand or on the outside of it, just go with it. Let the creative juices flow. Within each finger or around the hand, I'd like you to fill it with things that you are grateful for. So we're going to aim for 5, being that we've got 5 fingers or 4 fingers and a thumb. But if you want to go wild and do more, if you want to add little drawings, you can. So you can either draw to illustrate what you're grateful for, or write, or a bit of both. It doesn't matter if you don't have colours, literally whatever you've got to hand, just give it a little try. So we're going to just have 5 minutes and all have a go at that. And like I say, I'm going to hope that you will all be willing to hold these up and show what you've done at the end of it. I think Sarah's already started drawing. Yeah, brilliant. So we'll just have a few minutes, giving that a try. Just draw around your hand and fill it with drawings or writing of the things that you're grateful for. It could be big or small. Sarah, please could you just take the slide down for me, just so I can see people's faces? It's always hard to guess if people are still drawing in the zone. I have to look for foreheads down to know whether people are still drawing or not.
Sorry, Helen, I just realised that I was completely in the zone. I just heard my name, I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, Sarah was just so in the zone. Brilliant. Sorry. I've learned I have to, teaching online, I just have to look for foreheads up, foreheads down, and then I know if people are still drawing. So what would be really nice, hopefully you have had enough time, is just to do a quick show of what you've done if you'd like to. Remember, on screen, you're only a tiny little picture to everybody else, so nobody will be able to particularly read it too closely if it's personal, but it's just nice to know you've had a try. I'll hold up my example that I did. Oh, amazing. Oh, I can see some drawings, some pictures. We've got quite adventurous. Wonderful. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. I can see you've had a go. Wonderful. Thank you. So if you could just bob the slide up. I think we've got one more slide, have we, Sarah? I think. Brilliant, thank you. Just a quick reflection. So there's just some points to consider. So this is an important part of all the classes I do. You know, a good discussion on kind of how you found it. You know, was it useful? When might you use it again? And how did it affect your mood? So we do in classes do a little bit of how do you feel now at the beginning, how do you feel at the end, just to kind of capture that impact. So I've just some questions there for you to ponder, and if you've got any responses to pop in the chat, don't feel you have to respond to every single question, but they're just to give you a nudge and get the thoughts going. So just any thoughts at all. It is a very short sample. Obviously, in a longer session, we'd get a little bit more stuck in, but hopefully it just gives you a little taste of the type of activity we would try in a class. Great, we've got some different responses coming in. Instantly makes you feel happier. And I think one thing that's important, instantly makes you feel happier, but it always makes me smile reading other people's. So when they've shared what they've got to be grateful for, it just brings a smile to your face, kind of reading of other people's positive experiences. And yeah, like they said, in a strange year, it has been a time where being able to focus on the positives is a real blessing, because we've needed to. Wonderful. Just reading through some more answers. Do read everybody else's, because again, that's really important to kind of see people's positive experiences when they might use it again. Anytime you feel down, yeah, something to really just refocus, have a little word with yourself, I call it, kind of have a word with myself when I'm feeling negative or I'm focusing on the negatives. I have a word with myself and try and just take stock of some of the positives. And have this little picture nearby somewhere, you know, pop it in your desk drawer and grab it out, have a little look at it, and hopefully that will bring a smile to your face in a time when you need it. Puts things into perspective. Great seeing it on paper. Yeah, exactly. Having that tangible result. Brilliant, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. So, like I say, this is just a sample of the type of thing that you can have a go at, put in your toolkit, revisit it when you're feeling a little bit negative, down, and you're feeling that you need to kind of give yourself a little boost. And again, doing this in a group, it's just lovely to read people's kind of positives and gratitude. You can get gratitude apps as well if you're a fan of an app, and the app actually nudges you to record a positive every day, and then you can then look back over that over a month, a year, and again really try to just zone in on the things that you can be grateful for and the positives. As Faye said in the chat then, you know, in what's been a challenging, unusual year, to be able to look at the positives, even if it's something like I managed to walk 10 minutes longer than I normally do, I cooked a really nice meal from scratch, something went well at work, you know, whatever it is, even the smallest of things, just trying to record those and take notice of them, of a real boost to your mental well-being. Wonderful, thank you. I think that's me, isn't it, Sarah? I think.
It is. Thank you so much, Helen. And it's over to me now. That's brilliant. Thank you. I really was lost in the zone there. I'd lost myself for a moment. Brilliant. Thank you to the team so far for the sessions that you've done. And there's been some wonderful comments in the chat, which has been really nice to read. And thank you so much for engaging thus far. So the last session is just a short one that I'm going to take you through now that links to a short course that we do that's called the 5 Ways to Wellbeing. And these are the 5 steps that you can use to improve your mental health and well-being specifically. So just to start off with, I've just got a little question really. So again, just to engage in the chat, just to focus on the term well-being for a couple of moments really. So what does that mean, well-being? It's something we hear a lot, but what does that mean to you? So any thoughts, any observations, just drop that into the chat and we'll pick up on some themes that come through. Go, things coming in already. Feeling good, being in a good place. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Debbie. Feeling well mentally, physically and emotionally. Yes, absolutely. Well-being doesn't just mean one thing. There's many different component parts to the term well-being. Absolutely. Being well in body and mind, feeling positive, not worrying. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for dropping some comments in there. So in terms of the World Health Organization, they define well-being as a complete state of physical, mental and social well-being, not just the absence of disease or infirmity. So here at Lancashire Adult Learning, within health and well-being, we are really, really keen around wellness, and it's about keeping people well. So it's not just about coming to us or coming to support your health and well-being when there's a problem. So when your mental health may be feeling challenged, you're feeling particularly stressed or anxious, or you've got a physical problem, you know, a pain in the knee or whatever that might be. It's about what can we do to keep ourselves well all the time, every day. So in terms of the workplace, we are better able to manage our jobs, we are more productive and we feel happier in the workplace. So I've just got another question for you now, and that is, have you heard of the 5 ways to wellbeing? And do you know what they are? So there's 2 parts to that question, really. So the first one, have you heard of the 5 ways to wellbeing prior to today? Yes or no? It doesn't matter if not, because you will have by the end of today. And do you know what any of the 5 ways to wellbeing actually are? So if you do, and you want to drop them into the chat, feel free. I'm going to ask my teachers to not at this point because they will know what they are, and also Nicola. Let's see what people come up with first. So there's a few yeses to the first question, no to the second. Yep, probably, but can't recall. Absolutely. They're not always at the forefront of your mind, but you might have heard it somewhere. Okay, so a little bit of a mixed bag there. Quite a few people that haven't heard of the 5 ways to wellbeing. No and no. Thank you, Anita. Okay, so I'm going to show you what the 5 ways to wellbeing actually are. So in terms of generally where this came from, so quite a few years ago, professionals in the field of mental health did some research into trying to come up with a short way of presenting information to individuals to demonstrate what you can do to maintain your health and well-being, particularly your mental well-being. And they came up with these 5 strands. So these are the 5 things that we need to do as often as we can, daily if we can, to keep ourselves mentally well. And they are to connect. That could be with other people, with friends, with family, but also with yourself. So how are you? How are you feeling? Keep learning. Every day is a school day. We're always going to learn something new. Taking notice. We've done some brilliant examples of that today, particularly in terms of the last activity from Helen. Taking notice links to mindfulness and being aware of the world around you. Give. So this one is a really good one that around what do you do in terms of giving your time, giving to others, but also recognising when people give to you as well, and being active. So again, that short session from Faye was a fantastic way of just getting ourselves active. Now at this point, we've just got a short poll that I'm going to ask Simon to drop up on the screen here. So I'm just going to ask you to do a bit of an evaluation on sort of rating yourself against each of the 5 ways to well-being. So how much of these things do you do in your life at the moment? So 1 would be, oh, I need to improve on that. I'd like to do more of this. 5 is, I'm really happy with this and I regularly include that in my life. So thinking of the being active one, we've already had a question around how much exercise do you do. If that's something that you'd like to do more of, have a little think about that. Connections is often one that can slip sometimes when we're particularly busy, especially in the workplace. Are we taking the time to connect in with friends and family? Is that an area that we might want to improve on? So let's have a little look and see what comes up in the poll here.
It's taking people a little longer because there's more to think about. I think we're at 40% participation.
Yeah,
which,
no, absolutely. That's
which
great.
if it was a general election would be disappointing, I think. So we'll give people a little bit longer.
No, that's great. Yeah, there is a few sections to this particular poll. So yeah, there's no rush. Just have a little look, have a think, and we'll sort of see where people are at.
Yeah, we're at 80%. Oh, we're well over. We're at 87%. We've just had a rush,
wow.
so I'll call it there and I'll publish. There's the results. You'll have to scroll down to see them all.
Super, thank you, Simon. It was just really interesting to see sort of where people feel they need to sort of place the most attention in their lives. So around being active there. So quite a few people thinking that actually I need to do a little bit more on this in my life, or I'm quite happy with that. So there's quite a range there. So sort of 18% would sort of think, yes, I need to do more of this and I need to improve that in my life, through to 21% who are quite happy that they're doing enough of that. Take notice. There's nobody scored a 1 there, which is absolutely brilliant. The highest score there is a 3, so sort of midway, 43%. But nobody's a 5, so there's clearly a little bit of room around the take notice. Give, lots of quite high score there, so 50% of people scored a 4 for give, and then keep learning. Nobody scored a 1. So we've got a nice really range of scores there. So 46% of people scored a 3. So again, a nice sort of mid-range there. So what I'd like you to do next is just, you don't necessarily need to share this, you can if you will, if you would like to, is just to think about a target that you could set yourself linked to the 5 ways to wellbeing there, based on your answers to that poll, and maybe the ones where you perhaps scored the lowest. So if connect for you is something that's really slipped in the last few weeks and months, and that's something that you really would like to do, have a little think about setting yourself a target. So is it that you've been meaning to contact that friend for a few weeks and you just haven't quite got round to it? So is that going to be the thing that you're going to do? You know, so by the end of this week, I will have contacted that friend. Is it around physical exercise? So have you been meaning to get onto that gym class or go for that walk? So let's set a little goal that you're going to do that. So if you want to kind of write something down, you're very welcome to share your thoughts in the chat and we'll see what comes up. That's lovely, Colin. Thank you for that in the chat. Give, if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. That's absolutely, I love that. That's brilliant. And these are all the simple things that you can do every day, because the give one is a really important one, because by the act of giving to somebody else, that also gives your own well-being a really good boost. You feel good because you've done something for somebody else. That's really lovely. I might pick on Simon at this point and say, Simon, what little target have you set yourself?
Wow, I mean, that's harsh. I'm the host. If you offend me, I can just shut the meeting down. I would say I was really good at the start of the year of doing my 5K every day. Not strenuous running, just walk, a brisk walk every day. And I've probably dropped down to 3 times a week. And I noticed the difference here and here, frankly. So my commitment is to do that more often. I'm not going to say every day, but 5 times a week, I think, minimum. Yeah,
brilliant. Thanks for sharing that, Simon. So the image up on the screen there is about making that target, whatever you're going to make it for yourself, smart. So you be really specific about what you want to do, but actually it's really important that it is achievable. Whatever you say that you're going to do, you are going to be able to do it, because you don't want to set yourself up to fail. But just thinking about those 5 ways to well-being, the results you put into your own individual poll, and where do you feel you need to put your attentions at the minute, and let's see if that makes a difference over the next kind of few weeks for you. Let's have a see. Danielle, that's lovely. Taken notice is probably underrated, but I'm going to try harder to take in and enjoy each day because life is short. Absolutely, it sure is. And I think certainly this last 12 months that everybody's been through in terms of the pandemic and the response to COVID has been an opportunity to really kind of take stock on the things that are really important to us in life. Linking back to Helen's gratitude exercise as well. If we do these things a little often in our day, it's like a ripple effect. It ripples out into your life and you will start to feel the benefits to your health and well-being. Okay, so that's just the end of the short session from myself. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time now, just a couple of slides, just giving you an overview of what the health and wellbeing curriculum looks like at Lancashire Adult Learning. So on this next slide, we've just got an image here that shows the delivery strands that we have here at Lancashire Adult Learning. And the strand that's the most relevant to you here today on the event is the wellbeing in the workplace strand. So by far the most amount of work that we do here at Lancashire Adult Learning is about general population health and wellbeing. So all of the courses that we offer are free and they're available to anybody out there across Lancashire that can benefit from improving their health or wellbeing in some way. All of the courses are advertised on our website, and then we do separate work specifically with partners. So if you have got some specific ideas in mind following on from the event today, Danielle is your key contact for that, and she can speak to you about the provision, what your needs are and how we can meet those needs. The wellbeing in the workplace strand has been a really big developing strand for us over the last 18 months. We've done a lot of work with lots of organisations that wanted to support their employees by providing free opportunities in the workplace. Lots of different times of the day. We've done a range of things from dropping into team meetings to do short sessions around exercise for health or diet and nutrition, through to mindfulness, relaxation and many other things in between. So we really can work with you to meet the needs of your employees and your organisation. You will know very well kind of the information around sickness absence for your colleagues and what are the kind of prevalences and reasons why people are off, and then we can work in a targeted way to run some courses that will help to maybe make an impact on those reasons for absence. This next image, just without me going into lots of detail around all the courses, just gives you a feel for what the curriculum looks like and all the different strands that make up the curriculum. You've experienced 3 of them today. So Helen leads on the creative wellbeing, which focuses around art, but we also have a whole strand of the curriculum, which is horticulture, which is an amazing offer of how nature and gardening can boost your wellbeing. And we have singing. We have lots of courses around taking care of your mental health and mental well-being, and that links very much in with the relaxation and mindfulness strand. Exercise for health and well-being. Faye and her colleagues have developed a fabulous range of courses, from chair-based yoga to yoga for stress and anxiety, through to home exercise. That was a new one in response to the pandemic, with everybody being at home and not going out to gyms or having the confidence to go back into gyms, even though they're starting to open back up again. Cooking skills and eating well on a budget. One of the things that we keep coming back to, even though we all know the healthy eating messages, is that often it's hard putting that into practice, especially around a busy day. So lots of quick, healthy, affordable meal ideas. So there are quite literally hundreds of courses, and following on from the event today, you will get a link to our guide that gives you more detail on what those courses are, and Danielle will be your go-to person for more specific information. The health awareness section as well has got a specific course around men's health. So looking at kind of male prevalences around male cancers, looking at male mental health, and also diet and nutrition. And that's delivered by a male tutor who's also a veteran, and he's had some fabulous successes through that course, focusing specifically on men's health. So that might be something that you're interested in. So I've just got a couple of little case studies here. This one I'll just leave up on the screen, but talk generally about it. Just reflects some of the work that we've done with Lancashire County Council. So Danielle has worked extremely hard with them over the last 12 to 18 months. They've got obviously over 12,000 members of staff at the council, and we've probably engaged, I think at this point, over 400 members of staff in a range of different health and wellbeing courses. All those courses are free. We worked in partnership to design the offer and to put them out at different days and times, all online, and every course filled up as soon as we put it out there. So it was a real joint effort in terms of promotion from their side, but also the design and delivery from our capacity. And the impact that it's had on the staff in terms of the feedback that's come through has been phenomenal. So staff feeling less anxious after attending the mindfulness course, and that they're actually putting the techniques into practice, which is the most important thing, because this is about people being able to proactively maintain their well-being over time by learning tools and strategies and techniques that will help them with their resilience over a period of time. People have reported improved sleep patterns and feeling more connected to each other as members of staff, to the organisation. So it's been a really positive experience. On this next slide, I've just got a little soundbite from a learner called Maggie. I hope this sound works. We'll test it out in a moment. And Maggie was a learner on one of Helen's courses, and she actually works with people that are experiencing and living with cancer. And she did a course, and this is just a little soundbite about her experience. So I'll just hit play on that.
The course I took was an art course, and wasn't just like art in the sense of drawing, although we did start off with that. It was more about, did I have anything creative in me? Could I think outside the box and think, well, okay, I can't draw, but I can do something else that could be classed as artistic. Part of my thing that I did was a video about the 5 steps to wellbeing and how I'd incorporated them into my resilience strategy. So that was my take on it, and other people were doing drawings, paintings, different ways that they'd been creative. If somebody was thinking of taking one of these courses to help with their well-being, I would absolutely endorse it 100%. It's not just about what you can achieve or a skill that you can pick up, it's about mixing with other people, meeting other people from different experiences and backgrounds, tapping into something that you might not have known you had, and just giving yourself time actually to think of something different than what you would every day. So I definitely encourage people to give it a go. It's really a fantastic experience.
I think it's really powerful. We can actually hear from people themselves that have been on the courses there and really experienced you know, a real boost to their well-being and resilience. So thanks to Maggie for recording that. So I'm going to, at this point, just hand back to Nicola Hall, who's just going to do the final wrap up and talk you just through this last slide. Over to you, Nicola.
Okay, thanks ever so much, Sarah. Just a couple of points to revisit. You know, we really hope you've enjoyed today's session, and I understand that some of you might not have enjoyed the exercise, that wasn't for you, or some of you enjoyed the exercise and not the art, that wasn't for you. But thinking about the people who you work with and your colleagues, you know, we have a vast array of provision, and we want to help people thrive in the workplace. And let's not wait till people get ill, you know, or they need an intervention. Let's help people stay well in the workplace. It is absolutely completely free. We need your LMI and your information to be able to design courses that are fit for purpose, you know, so that we can meet those needs. I would really encourage you, you know, to do that second stage and enroll for us. You know, as Simon mentioned and as I mentioned, we are funded through the ESFA, which is the education funding body. I do have to justify where we spent our money, and how we do that is by encouraging people to enrol. So, you know, there's no such thing as a free lunch. I need your enrolment to support this event. Danielle is your go-to person, you know, should you decide, actually, you know, I think our workplace would benefit from this. I think, you know, my colleagues or the people that I work with would benefit from engaging in some well-being, you know, and it's not about necessarily improving people's well-being when they're already ill or they're already absent from work. We can support with that, but it's about keeping people in the workplace and helping them thrive and keeping them healthy and happy and enjoying what they do. Danielle's actually got a Padlet. I don't know if anybody's familiar with a Padlet. It's literally just really a virtual space where you can type your comments and your details and your contact details. I think she's going to post that in the chat for you. And lastly, really, I just want to thank you all for taking part today. We were unsure how today's session was going to go, and it was great to see so many people taking part in the activities, and we really hope you've enjoyed it. And you know, if you think actually this is not for my workplace, we'd really appreciate you being an ambassador for Lancashire Adult Learning and getting yourself on some of our courses and some of your friends and some of your family. So do spread the word, and thank you very much. Danielle, do you want to say anything, just so people know who you are and they can put a face to a name?
Yeah, just say hello. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I mean, I've done a few of these different events and sessions now, and I have to say, I always come away feeling really relaxed. I do feel quite lucky that this is what I do for my job, to be honest, because they're such lovely sessions. But yeah, just as Nicola said, I am the Partnership and Recruitment Officer for the Health and Wellbeing and Horticulture Curriculum. So I am your link person. So if you've had any questions or any information that you need about anything today that we've talked to you about, or if you just want to just ask some general questions about how the wellbeing in the workplace might work for you and your employees and your team, just feel free to get in touch. My contact details are on that screen there, and I do think we're sending everything out to you afterwards. So even if you're not sure, any questions at all, I'm the person just for you to contact, and that's great. Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, I just want to say a huge thank you to Simon and Debbie, you know, for making this possible and for working with us so we could bring this virtual session to you today. We will be around at the end, you know, we are going to hang around a little bit. And I'm going to hand back over now to Simon and Debbie. Thank you very much on behalf of Lancashire Adult Learning and the Nelson Colne College Group.
Thanks, Nicola, and thanks to all the Lancashire Adult Learning team. We've got 2 minutes left before we stop the video, but we will be hanging around after 11:15. So if anyone wants to sort of have any specific conversations with any of the LAL team, then please do stick around. But we can probably fit one person in if anyone's got anything they want to quickly ask, and forever live on YouTube, then now is your opportunity. All I will ask next time we do this is I need a bit of warning, because I've not touched my toes in 20 years. So I feel like I've gone to places I've not gone to in a long time. So next time, give me a bit of warning, will you? Any questions before we wrap up? Anita, I nearly came to you there, but you were just scratching your head. You've got to be very careful, otherwise I'll just pick on you. Okay, brilliant. Right, well, once again, thank you to all the team from Lancashire Adult Learning and to our sponsors, Nelson Colne College Group. What we tried to do there is just something a little bit different. We're all zoomed out, I think, and we're all webinared out. Hopefully today has been interactive. You've got some personal benefit from it, maybe some personal reflection, and maybe, hopefully, it's given you some ideas for things that you can do in your workplace. Please do complete the second registration link if you can, because that just makes everyone very happy at Lancashire Adult Learning and allows them to continue to do this work with individuals and workplaces across the county. And do interact directly with Danielle and all the team. Debbie will put all the follow-up information in a very efficient post-event email. And if you want to use any of the content again, you want to watch it again and maybe show it to other people in your organisations, then give us a couple of days and it will be on the East Lancs Chamber YouTube channel. Finally, it's Wednesday. It's going to be dry all week. Do something outside. Have a wonderful Wednesday afternoon, and we'll see you on a Chamber event very soon. Thanks very much, everyone. Thanks for watching this Chamber Live video from the East Lancashire Chamber of Commerce. If you've enjoyed this content, then you might enjoy some of the other content that's on the screen now. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel.